everyone! Welcome back, and I'm just going to do a quick vlog review of my thoughts of the Avengers, or in the UK, Avengers Assemble. Okay, now just first a little setup of how I saw this movie. I saw this movie in a small independent local cinema because I wanted to get away from the multiplex for a bit. And I have to say, I'm glad I did. Now, the one flaw with this is because they're a small cinema. I was talking to a friend who works there, and they can't, because they're so small, they have no bargaining power in what they show. So they could only get the 3D version of this film, which was a disappointment, but they've invested in better 3D technology, which my friend took a great deal explaining to me. Rather than using the standard 3D that you find at the Odeon with just the cheap disposable plastic glasses which they charge a ton for, these glasses, the 3D actually happens with the glasses. They're battery powered and they have a small sensor on the front, and they detect where in the cinema you're sitting. And depending on that, they alter the on-off flicker rate, which causes a 3D effect in your vision, to make it perfect from the angle you're sitting. This worked a lot better. I mentioned on Wrath of the Titans that the 3D blood in action sequences didn't have this problem here so much. Also, a neat little thing I picked up with the conversation scenes. The way they're staged, they're talking through like the see-through computer panels that you saw in Iron Man. They're talking through them, and the depth where they're layered and you get the sense that you really are speaking to someone behind something instead of over it, was actually pretty cool. Has it changed my opinion on 3D? No, it's useless. I don't want to say useless. 3D doesn't detract. If done properly, 3D doesn't detract, but it doesn't add anything to a movie. So, it was better, but this film didn't need to be in 3D. It just didn't. I have to say, every so often you get a film that comes along that just doesn't disappoint. The characters, the pacing, the plot, all works together so well you really struggle to find fault. And I have tried to look through and think of major problems that I could bring up with this movie, and beyond a few very minor plot holes, there's not much bad I can really say about this. Okay, now the Avengers movie is quite a unique beast in the fact that it's almost a sequel, or there's never been anything like it that brings together other movie franchises into one so seamlessly. And it benefits greatly from that. Of course, the big flaw if you're trying to do a team movie is getting the balance of the characters right and getting their character arcs right and the characterization in for everyone. Of course, this movie didn't have to worry about that. Each character has had their own movie to grow. And besides doing a little recapping, the movie is very much free to get on with its own plot. Which, it's basically about these different personalities learning to grow together. All the other ones have been about them evolving into their individual personalities. This is about them accepting a wider responsibility and learning to trust in someone other than themselves. Each character, I have to say, was given the right amount of screen time, the right amount of growth. Although the one person that didn't get that really would be Hawkeye, because he spent a lot of the movie in a situation I will do two parts to this review. One is a spoiler free, which I'm doing now, and the rest will be major spoilerage. So I'll try and keep this as clean and without spoilers as possible. Now, the writer Joss Whedon's dialogue that he's famous for really shines through, especially in Loki and Stark. And the best bits of the movie are when Loki and Stark are in the same room having dialogue against each other. It is amazing. It is decadently delicious dialogue. So yeah, what else can I say? The bad parts. As I said, I really struggled and scraped to get bad parts from this. And first has to be the generic alien threat. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that there's a giant fight scene at the end with Loki's alien forces, and it in itself is executed fairly well. The action never becomes too tedious, and it doesn't become a mess like what Transformers 2 famously did. But I feel it's a problem indicative of wider Hollywood of these extremely long, drawn-out battle sequences. And yes, I know in real life it would be like that, but with cinema, I lose interest easily in fight sequences. You know, characterization for a long time grabs me. You know, deep in-depth plot building grabs me. Nothing but explosions and punching and missiles just bores me. I mean, this has been a problem ever since Return of the King, where they have that big fight scene against the Orc forces. As I say, as far as epic, extra long battle sequences go, this movie handled it quite well. As I say, Loki, I believed he was the best part of Thor. He really was. Just his depth and growth as a character into a villain that was sympathetic yet still fun. There was a tragedy to him, but you know, he's a god of mischief. He's brilliant. In this one, he's batshit crazy. It's gotten past the point where he's fed up with himself. He's obviously been wandering the universe for a long time, and it's left him with a few more screw looses than before. And it shows, and he is just out to have fun. It is brilliant. I don't suppose there's much else to say, really. In part 2, I'll cover my major spoiler things, which I have to say are brilliant, and I just feel like I have to talk about them. But if you're not going to watch that, what I'll say now is go watch it. It is a great movie. I cannot stress this enough. It's everything a movie should be. Does it have the philosophical depth of The Dark Knight? No. But it is one of the best superhero movies I have ever seen, and I really encourage you to go watch it. Please do.